Hello and welcome once again to your update from the city of New Hope. Time to chat again with the mayor, John Elder, to find out what's new in the city and what might be coming up. Mayor, welcome today. How are you?
I'm fabulous, Dave. How are you?
I am fantastic. We've got a lot
Good.
to talk about. We've got some
We do.
meetings that have happened, one that's coming up tonight as we record this on March 17th, and then again, a lot going on in the city. That recap is of the March 10th City Council meeting, and you wanted to touch on a couple items that are of note. Go right ahead.
Yeah, we had a couple of things on our consent agenda that updated contracts that we have with companies that are helping us with snow and lawn services throughout the city. We contract with a company, Dow's Lawn and Snow. We've dealt with them for a number of years, and they've been great to work with. Their prices are low for us, and so we're going to continue using them. We're also going to continue using Brat Tree Services for assisting with the remainder of the Emerald Ash borer trees that we need to remove. So we're excited to have that done. Um, there was an appointment of two people who have applied for the Human Rights Commission, and they were appointed at the meeting. And so we're excited to have those two come on board and be able to start working with our Human Rights Commission. We also approved the appointment of Michael Eisenberg to the West Metro Fire Rescue District's Board of Directors. I have sat on that for about 14 years, and I'm finding that as mayor, there are a lot of meetings.
Right.
And so it's nice to be able to pass on this detail to another council member, give them the experience. And I know Council Member Eisenberg is really excited to get going with this and to be a part of this. So he'll be a great addition.
So there's your recap of the meeting on the 10th. Now, tonight on the 17th, as we record this, there's a work session that is taking place, and it looks like a very full agenda. Give us a little overview of that agenda.
Absolutely. We'll start out by meeting with the county assessor's office. These are the folks that decide the tax values on homes. And coming up in April, there will be a local board of appeals and equalization meeting where people can come to this meeting and share feedback on their taxation for what their homes are valued at. Unfortunately, that will be a meeting I'm not able to attend because I will actually be out of the country on a trip that's been planned for over a year. So we will have somebody step in my stead to make sure we get that taken care of. Also, once a year, we have each of our commissions come in and meet face to face with the city council. And tonight, it's the Human Rights Commission's turn. And we can come in and hear what they need, hear what they're finding, talk about things they may want to work on. And these are always great meetings. And I deal with each of the commissions a great deal throughout the year, but it's nice for the council members who may not be as familiar with the works of each of these commissions to have this time to meet with them face to face, and especially to say thank you.
Sure.
These are people that are volunteers for the community, and each of our commissions do a lot of great work. So
Mhm.
truly appreciate it. Joint Water Commission folks will be at the meeting this evening to talk about the valve replacement quote that will take care of valves that need to be replaced in our south water tower when we're doing the painting. Super important to get this done, and it wasn't figured out in the original specs because it didn't have anything to do with the paint or the sanding. However, these need to be done, and this is a cost that is shared with all of the cities in the Joint Water Commission. So that doesn't fall fully on the city of New Hope. So that's helpful. We also, being on city council and a mayor, it's about public service.
Mhm.
And so I went to the Parks Department and said, hey, what if the city council were to adopt a park? And it's our responsibility to get through it, make sure things are working, make sure, it's picked up, get through. And it's just another way of bringing community service just a little step forward. And they thought it was a great idea, loved it. I personally have adopted a park since 2008 or even
Mhm.
a little bit before that. So this will be in addition to the park that I personally do.
Fantastic.
So we're going to do that. Looking forward to it. We at our last EDA meeting had a home, a property sold to Donna Homes on the spec that they were going to be building a two-story home. And they came to the city and said, hey, listen, we have a buyer for this, but they really want a Rambler. And
Mhm.
it'll be a good, solid Rambler. I've seen the design. I'm excited about that. And Ramblers are important,
Right.
especially for people that are getting older and may not want to do stairs.
Mhm.
So a Rambler's a good addition. And so we will be meeting with Donna Holmes about that this evening. And then lastly, we will be getting an update on the status of the organics recycling program. And the thing people have to know is that we are going to be going down to one single consolidated hauler for organics, very, very similar to our recycling. This is not going to impact your trash. You can still have your own trash hauler. We went through that a couple of years ago and people were
Mhm.
clear. They either wanted it or didn't want it. Council
Right.
chose to stick with personal choice on that. So that won't do that. Now, what people will see is they will likely see a credit on their trash bill because people had been paid in advance for the organics. So we got, I don't know, $7 refund on our or credit on our bill, and now people will start seeing it on their city bill monthly.
Mhm.
So it's going to be able to save people a pretty decent chunk of money, and our thanks to the city staff that was able to negotiate really good pricing.
Very good. All right. Well, as you see, a full agenda tonight on March 17th for the work session for the city council. Now let's go to some other things happening in the city. And one great thing that happened this past weekend was lots of skaters at the New Hope Ice Arena, and you had a front row seat, I understand. Tell us more.
Yeah, I was invited to the 50th anniversary of the North Rink, and the city's figure skating uh, team came out and did an exhibition at the ice arena. And this included all abilities of skating. Some of
Mhm.
the tots were walking on their skates, not really skating, but they
Right.
were out there, and that's fantastic.
Yeah.
All the way up to the high school senior who has been in the program for many, many years and came out and gave a beautiful, beautiful performance. So it's really a program that works with everybody at all ages and all abilities. And to see these kids come out and do such a remarkable job, it speaks so well of the program and for our Parks and Recs department. Truly was heartwarming to see.
Hats off to all those involved in that great program.
Yeah.
Now, some other things happening in a few city departments. Let's hop to the police department and looking at filling a position within the police department. What position is that and how's that going?
Well, we have just gone through a lengthy hiring process for an animal control position. We've shared an animal control officer between the cities of New Hope and Crystal. Crystal has decided to pull out of that agreement at the end of this year. So we had to hire our own animal control person because the gentleman that we have that's doing it for the two cities is retiring. And Tom
Mhm.
Mahan is truly a leader statewide in this sort of thing. He has a master's degree in animal management, or whatever the proper terminology is for
Mhm,
that.
mhm.
And he has helped departments and residents throughout the entire state of Minnesota. He truly is the premier knowledge person in this field. And he's retiring, and good for him. Boy, he's
Mhm.
earned it. So we have had an interview last week for the city manager and chief. They did that interview, and they did offer a background packet to one candidate. And that candidate will now go through a very extensive background packet, very similar to being a police officer, keeping in mind that this individual will have a lot of access to private information.
Mhm.
And so we'll make sure we get that person backgrounded properly. And then once they pass that, they'll go through physical and drug testing. Once they get through all of that, we'll be able to get them hired.
Right,
So
very good.
lengthy process.
Yes, understand. A few other things to pass along in the police department, always working with community engagement. We've got a couple ways this happened with meals in the community, safety meetings, and also a student group. Tell us about these activities.
Yeah, one of our officers went out and delivered Meals on Wheels again last week. That is such a wonderful thing to do for our community, and the fact that the department's putting a priority on that is huge. So hats off to them for that.
Mhm.
Chief Hoyt is also attending District 281 safety meetings. When we talk about safety in our school district, in our buildings, it really has to be a partnership between the police department and the school district. And they have routine, are very regular meetings, address issues that come up, and plan ahead for what needs to be done. They've put together an incredible reunification program so that if something does happen and we have to evacuate students due to a crisis, we know we have a plan, we have a place of how we can safely and properly reunify those students with their families.
Mhm.
So that's just one of the things that they do. And a number of our cities have joint police partnerships, community joint community police partnerships,
Right?
JCPP.
Mhm.
And a lot of these JCPs throughout the cities will have an advisory, a multicultural advisory committee that really is an advisory commission to the city council. And they provide ways that we can most effectively interact and reach all of our diverse communities. And so New Hope has taken it a step further. They not only have a MAC group for adults, they started one in Cooper High School.
Mhm.
And these kids, and you refer to them as kids, are absolutely remarkable. They have been cohesive, they've had tough conversations, they've met with each member of the New Hope Police Department admin team. They don't hesitate to call the chief if something comes up, and they testified in front of Congress last year when the big hullabaloo was coming up about having school resource officers in our schools.
Mhm.
And they wanted to testify that they needed SROs in our schools to be safe. And and again, an incredible group of youth, and they will go on to become remarkable adults. Police department has stayed relatively busy. There were 415 police-related incidents last week.
Mhm.
Um, and again, looking at year over year, very, very similar to previous years. So we're good with that.
So there's your police department update. Let's move ahead to public works. And a big focus of public works at this time is on water meters. Tell us why and how that process is going along.
You bet. The water meters that were installed are 25-ish years old, and they're at their end of their life expectancy. So Public Works is installing water meters in the city anywhere that there's a water meter. This last week, they've spent time really drilling in on commercial water meters and water meters in city properties. They're also doing residential. And the really important thing about this is that if I get a water bill as a resident and it's just wonky, it's just off the charts, high or low, whatever it is, I can call them and they can at Public Works, they can tell me what this what the amount of water is that I'm using and when it's being used.
Mm.
So it's really getting real-time information out to the residents, and this is heads and shoulders above the previous system, which it's 25 years more advanced. It
Mhm.
should be. And by us replacing them ourselves, we're saving the taxpayers over $1 million. So a real big strain on resources
Yeah.
for our public works team, but at $1 million price tag, they're stepping up, they're getting it done, and they're working really hard. So we appreciate all of them.
And be watching for more information about that. NewHopeMN.gov is the city's website if you want to find out more. You can also go there to find out about park and rec activities. A lot going on, and one that's just starting classes is gymnastics, another popular program in the city.
Yeah. The gymnastics program through the city is incredible, and they practice up at Sandburg Middle School, and that the program is remarkable, and they've had a lot of the same instructors, and some of the students that have gone through the program have come back to help instruct. It's just high quality training and the kids have a blast. I've been to a number of their practices and meets, and it's just a great feel, and the kids are enjoying themselves. So classes started last week. Not too late to get involved, I don't believe.
Very good. Let's talk about the farmers market. That season is inching ever closer, and right now a lot of the focus, I understand, is on vendors.
Yeah, we are recruiting vendors. Now, the nice thing is when the previous farmers market closed down, we had a lot of very loyal and continuous vendors and vendors that would actually draw people in. And a great number of them are coming back. They were really happy to have the opportunity to come back and be into New Hope. They're also looking for volunteers to help out and work at the market. And so people can get information by calling City Hall and asking to speak to the farmers market coordinator.
Very good. And also the market now listed on a website that goes throughout the area. So shoppers getting to know that website is localharvest.org, and then look up for the New Hope Farmers Market and you'll find more information there. So the word is getting out. Next up, related to Park and Rec, Three Rivers Park District, a great partner in the city. And I understand there was a presentation recently.
Yeah, Marge Beard is the Three Rivers Commissioner for our area, and she and I have met previously to discuss ways that Three Rivers could implement and support our current Parks and Rec system. And Three Rivers is very interested in becoming more active in the city of New Hope, and we're excited to look at possible partnerships. They are able to bring in money to do things, and it can be a real booster shot to our parks department financially, and having additional help and additional bodies and additional ideas. So these conversations will continue. Commissioner Beard did come to the council meeting, did a presentation, and I will be meeting with her again here in the very near future to be able to discuss future possible opportunities.
Finally, in Park and Rec, let's touch on the three big Park and Rec facilities within the city. The first is the golf course. Probably some people itching to get out there, not quite yet, but there are people still using the inside.
Absolutely. And last Saturday, someone rented out the clubhouse for a bridal shower. So a new use that I've heard of for the
Hmm.
facility. It's again, I did all three of my kids' graduation parties there.
Yeah.
It was wonderful. So nope, a great venue for people that are interested in that.
And as you might guess, information out now about leagues and ways to get signed up for some golfing things outdoors. So be looking for that, and also information on the city's site about softball. So time to think about some
Yeah.
of those leagues. Let's go over to the ice center. Some things happening here to keep that up in the best shape possible. And it means closing a rink soon.
Yep. Actually, starting today, the
Okay.
17th, staff started to remove the sheet of ice from the south rink to prepare for painting the floor. If they don't get this repaired or painted about every 5 years, it gets dingy
Mhm.
and it can really impact the aesthetics of the rink. And so about every 5 years, they paint it. And we now have a new system of dasher boards. And instead of having to remove and replace those every 3 years, we are now up to a 5 year cycle on it. And it's planned for, it's budgeted for. And so we're excited to get this floor painted and then get that back open so people can start using another sheet of ice because things will be a little cramped for a little bit.
You bet. And next to the aquatic park, not the season, but they have been busy working on staff, and you have great news on the staff front.
Absolutely. We've mentioned the last few weeks that they've been working diligently to bring back the staff from last year, as well as to fill other positions for people that wouldn't be coming back because they've gone off through college and they're now have other jobs. And so all of the work they've done has paid off. We are now fully staffed for the aquatic park, for the seasonal staff. So we're looking forward to getting that open, and it's going to be open longer this year. And that was one of my goals was to get the expectancy of that pool each season to be extended. You know,
Mhm.
we've had a lot of our lifeguards returning back to college,
Right.
and so the pool was shutting down in August. And August is typically the hottest month.
Mhm.
So it's been my goal to find ways to be able to extend the amount of time the pool is open each year, and it looks like we're working towards my goal. It'll be open more than it was last year,
All right.
so steps in the right direction.
All right. Many smiles on kids' faces right now as they hear that news, and probably parents as well. One
Yeah.
final note to pass along, something you might see happening in the community right now with some of the trees. There are some crews out there taking care of business. Who are they?
Well, it's Excel Energy. We'll be doing their tree trimming here in New Hope, and I get complaints every year that they're in town trimming trees. Um, their goal is to cut back trees so that over the next 5 years, branches will not be growing into or interfering with the lines.
Mhm.
And their aesthetics of the tree, I'm putting this kindly,
Yeah.
it oftentimes leaves the tree in a very, I don't know, disfigured or very unappealing shape. And so people get really worked up about this.
Mm.
And we just want people to be aware that Excel Energy will be notifying people in advance before they come out. That's what their website and what their representative told me when I met with them. And so just be aware tree trimming from Excel Energy will be coming to your area soon.
Very good. Keep an eye out for that. Well, as
Yeah.
you always know, a lot going on in the city of New Hope. If you
Yeah.
have questions or need more information, right on the bottom of the screen, the website, newhopemn.gov. Mayor, thanks again for your time. Appreciate it. You have a great week, and we'll talk to you again next week.
Dave, thank you so much, sir.
And stick with us, viewers, here with some more coming up with some events happening right here in the community. For more city stories, check out ccxmedia.org or find us on social media.